The deep sea debate. In the deep, dark expanse of the ocean, where the sunlight struggles to reach, two unlikely friends drifted through the currents. One, a bright red starfish named Sandy, was as slow as the tide itself. The other, an octopus named Oliver, was a rapid mover, with 8 squirming arms that could change color in the blink of an eye. Today, though, they weren't going anywhere fast. No, today, they were having the conversation. A friendly one, of course, but a conversation that would rival any deep-sea debate. "Well, Oliver," Sandy said, settling on a smooth rock, "I think it's safe to say that I'm the more fascinating creature down here in the deep." Oliver, his bulbous head bobbing as he hovered nearby, puffed out his cheeks in a mock gasp. "Oh, really? You think so, do you? Tell me more, oh wise one, about the marvels of a starfish." Sandy puffed out his own little chest, if you could call it that, and grinned. "Oh, where do I start? First off, I'm an expert at regeneration. I can lose an arm and grow it back. Bet you can't do that, Oliver." Oliver blinked his many eyes, his limbs twisting in all directions. "Well, actually, I can do something even cooler," he said, his skin changing color to a deep blue. "I can camouflage myself to blend in with my surroundings. One minute, I'm a rocky outcrop, the next, I'm a coral reef. It's like being invisible." Sandy rolled his eyes, the motion almost imperceptible on his flat body. "Invisible? I can live without a brain." "Without a brain, Oliver. Just think about it. I don't need a mind to survive, and I don't have to worry about getting headaches. How cool is that?" Oliver's face grew a bit more serious. Okay, you've got me there. But have you ever squeezed yourself through a hole smaller than your body? Can you do that, Sandy?" Sandy flopped his arms in an exaggerated motion. "Of course not, Oliver. I'm not built for squeezing. I'm built for style. Look at these fabulous arms of mine." He stretched out one of his 5 arms dramatically. 5 arms, not 8-5. Less is more, you know. Simple, elegant, and functional. Oliver waved his arms, creating little ripples in the water. "I've got 8 arms for a reason, buddy. They're like little hands. I can multitask with ease. I can open a jar with one arm, untangle a knot with another, and still make a snack with my third. You think you can do that with 5 arms? Huh. Multitasking, huh?" Sandy shot back. "I can do one thing at a time, but when I do it perfectly. You probably end up dropping your snacks while juggling all those arms." Oliver was clearly offended, but being the quick thinker that he was, he decided to take a different route. All right. But do you know what my most impressive feature is? My intelligence, Sandy. I'm not just a pretty face with 8 arms. I can solve puzzles. In fact, I once unlocked a treasure chest at the bottom of the sea." Sandy tilted his head. If a starfish could tilt its head. "Treasure chest? Do tell, Mr. Smarty Arms." "Oh yes," Oliver said with a wink. "There was a chest full of shiny sea pearls. It had a tricky latch, but I used my arms to twist, turn, and pop. It opened right up. And guess what? I didn't even need a key. Just my brains and my arms." Sandy seemed impressed, but then he gave a little chuckle. "You know, you're not the only one who can impress with cleverness. I have a defense mechanism too. If a predator tries to grab me, I can drop one of my arms and escape. It'll grow back later. It's like a free get-out-of-jail card." Oliver thought about that for a second. "Huh, that's pretty good, I'll give you that. But does your arm grow back with all your memories? Because when I lose an arm, I don't lose any memories. I still remember how to do all my tricks." Sandy looked thoughtful. "That's an interesting point, but I think my memory is in my cells. I don't need my arm to remember things." Oliver made a sound that resembled a giggle. "All right, let's stop comparing our bodies, because if we keep doing this, we'll be here all day. How about we agree that we're both amazing in our own ways?" Sandy's 5 arms waved about dramatically, and he gave a long sigh. Fine. I suppose we each have our unique strengths. You've got intelligence, camouflage, and flexibility, while I've got regeneration, simplicity, and style." "Exactly," Oliver exclaimed, his arms swishing around like wind-blown ribbons. And we both have our own way of surviving down here. You can take your time and just float around. I have to be quick and smart, constantly adapting. They both sat there in silence for a moment, contemplating their conversation. Finally, Sandy spoke up, his tone slightly more serious. You know, Oliver, it's funny. You and I live in the same ocean, and yet our lives are so different. You're fast and always thinking, while I'm slow and steady. Oliver nodded. It's true. But I guess that's what makes the ocean such a wonderful place, isn't it? So many creatures, so many ways of doing things. We all contribute in our own way. Sandy smiled. I think you're right. The deep sea wouldn't be the same without either of us. Agreed, Oliver said, giving his arms a little wave. The two of them sat quietly for a while, watching the other sea creatures drift by. Fish swam in schools, jellyfish floated gracefully, and an eel slinked past with surprising speed. After a while, Sandy broke the silence again. Hey, Oliver, have you ever considered that maybe we're just two pieces of the same puzzle? That we're both important to the balance of the sea? Oliver thought about it for a moment. You know, I hadn't really thought of it that way. But now that you mention it, it's true. Without each of us doing our part, the whole ocean might fall out of balance. Sandy's arms twitched excitedly. Exactly. So, instead of trying to one-up each other, maybe we should work together. Imagine what we could do if we combined our skills. Oliver's eyes gleamed with interest. That sounds like a plan. I can camouflage us so we can sneak up on predators. And you, with your regeneration skills, can protect us by keeping your arms safe. Maybe we can even start a deep-sea detective agency. Sandy chuckled. A detective agency? That sounds like a good idea. I'm in. Oliver paused, tapping his tentacle thoughtfully. We'll need a good name, though. How about the Tentacle and the Star? You know, for our unique features. Sandy grinned. I like it. The Tentacle and the Star. We'll be unstoppable. And with that, Sandy and Oliver, two vastly different creatures, came to an agreement. They weren't just rivals in the ocean. They were partners. They each had their own talents, but together, they made a powerful duo.